not touch that dial.
You know the radio you tune to, it's your Remedy dial, 93.9 Solutions FM. Your number one Remedy dial.
We break down the facts of news, delivering the latest information, playing the coolest of music, giving you the best of entertainment.
Yo, what's up?
This is 93.9 FM. We are the solutions.
Come on.
We are the remedy.
Your number one Remedy dial.
Yeah.
No more hits, no problem for the Nuggets. Congratulations to Denver Nuggets winning the NBA final. And, well, congratulations to Jokic and all the players in the Denver Nuggets squad. My name is Oladako Kunubi. You're welcome to Kiko Sports Show, and this is where we serve you all the latest from the world of sports. We look at updates from the Super Eagles camp also this morning, looking at other updates concerning Manchester City. They had their trophy parade. Well, everything you put in place, there will surely be a result at the end of the day. Hard work will surely pay off, right? That is what happened to the likes of Manchester City, Denver Nuggets. I'm not saying that Miami Heat did not, do the hard work, but hey, when you know what you need to do as early as possible, put in your A game. Remember, we're live on Facebook, facebook.com/solutions939FM, facebook.com/solutions939FM. Well, for Kylian Mbappe, this man is not ready to have an extension. Maybe he's also eyeing the money moves to MLS, money move to Saudi Arabia. He has won the World Cup. He's tired of winning the French League on. Maybe wants to win money right now. But let's go straight and talk about the NBA this morning. What went down in the wee hours of today and the NBA Game 5, the final.
It's the Miami Heat and the Denver Nuggets in Game 5 of the NBA Finals. They are loud and ready. They waited a long time for this night. Stolen by Adebayo. Good ball handling from the big man and a quick bucket for Miami. Strus fires away. Strus knocks down his first shot of the night. Jump shot from Caldwell Pope is good for the first bucket for Denver. Murray kicks it back out. Caldwell Pope trying to draw contact and he banks it home. Vincent guards him. Gordon's shot is good. Rattles in. Vincent putting on a lot of pressure. Jokic sets a hard screen. Vincent earned and Murray throws it down. The Heat have missed their last 9 shots. Michael Porter cuts, flips it up and in. Jeff Green on a beautiful pass. Timeout Miami. Strus. Porter in pursuit. Strus drives, layup, shot is good, and a foul. That's Strus off the bounce. Rebound, Brown banks it home. Bruce Brown puts the Nuggets back up by 1. Jimmy Butler on the drive, gets inside, stops. Stolen by Caldwell Pope. And a foul. 2 clutch free throws from Kentavious Caldwell Pope. It's over. At last, the long wait is over. After 47 years, the Denver Nuggets can finally call themselves NBA champions.
Well, shout out to this team. Well, for those of you who love basketball, you should understand what happened in the wee hours of today. But let's talk about Nikola Jokic this morning. This man might not have won his 3rd straight most valuable player award this season, but he still ended up with an MVP trophy after all. In addition to getting the championship, he has coveted. Jokic was named NBA Finals MVP after the Denver Nuggets defeated the Miami Heat 94-89 in Game 5 at the Ball Arena. But here is Nikola Jokic, who is optimistic that yes, we can do more. Let's just go and sleep on this. Let us celebrate wine and dine.
I'm happy for DJ. I'm happy for Jeff. I'm happy for Ish. Literally for everybody. Mikey. he had 3 surgeries and still came here and help us win the championship. I'm burping, sorry. Jamal, who had a surgery and didn't play well at the beginning of the season, like I told you guys that he's not going to build, but we all know what he's capable of. So it's KCP, he brought us the championship mentality. Bruce, Christian Brown. I don't want to say like little every player on this team. It's good. I mean, it's good. We did a job. I think we played the best basketball. I'm not gonna say in a postseason, but I think we were there playing the best basketball. Today we didn't make shots, but still we defend, and I think it's a great journey, like you said, for the first pick. But to be honest, that doesn't matter. When you're here, you're a player, and they have a couple guys that not even drafted, and they're still playing and contributing to them to win. So,
Jackish speaking there. Well, let's just quickly move away from the NBA this morning and let's talk tennis. Going straight to the Nottingham tournament, the top seed Maria Sakkari won her opening match at the Nottingham Open on Monday. Wow, former champion Donna Vekic also advanced to the last 16 at the grass court tournament. Sakkari, the number 8 ranked Greek, beat Zheng Wang of China 6-2, 7-6 after Vekic of Croatia defeated Cristina Borja of Spain 6-2, 4-6, 6-1. Vekic won the event in 2017 and lost in the final in 19. Vichysana Maia of Brazil is the defending champion in Nottingham and is coming off reaching the semi-finals of the French Open last week. She plays today along with a slew of British players, including new British number 1 Kata Butler, who has taken over from Emma Raducanu. Now, a quick look at what is also happening to British Beatrice Haddad-Maia. But first, let's look at the fixtures of games going down at Nottingham Open WTA 250. Hannah Dats will take on Rebecca Marino by 11 o'clock. Same time, Magda Leniet is up against Olivia Gadece. Teresa Martinkova will be up against Jody Bourage, as there will be a continuation of the game between Madison Brego and Camila Giorgi, same as Victoria Tomova and Elisabetta Mandic. More games going down today. Cactus Swan will be up against Elisa Cornet, as that game will be going down 3 o'clock, and that's going to be the last singles game for today. Let's go straight and look at the Stuttgart Open right there in Germany, ATP 250. Gregory Barrera will take on Oscar Otte today by 10 o'clock as Corentin Moutet tackles Aslan Karatsev by 11 o'clock. 11:30, Christopher O'Connell will be up against Daniel Atmoyer. Denis Shapovalov, 12:30, will take on Martin Fiskovic as Xingzheng Zhang will be up against Jan-Lennard Struff. The last game of the day, Bad Boy from Australia, Nick Kyrgios will take on Yibing Hu. All right, now let's talk about the Brazilian lady. Beatriz Haddad-Maia became the first Brazilian woman to reach the top 10 of the WTA rankings on Monday after a dream run to the French Open semi-finals. Haddad-Maia beat Tunisia's Ons Jabeur in the quarterfinal in Paris to become the first Brazilian woman in 55 years to reach a Grand Slam semi-final. She was beaten by eventual champion Iga Swiatek. Brazilian women's tennis has had precious little success since the days of Maria Bruno, who won 7 Grand Slam titles between 1959 and 1966, long before the WTA rankings were introduced in 1975. So let's go on a break, and when we return, we talk football. Go to Super Eagles camp. What is happening? Joseph Osorio has been talking about his future and the players in camp, why he decided to drop some players, why he decided not to allow some players to train yesterday, why he decided not to invite some players into the camp. But let's just celebrate the Nugget this morning. Little Bow Wow, Fabulous from Deja, Jamie Drebre, basketball.
To the beach, y'all. Let's go. All around the world, y'all know this is so that.
It's gonna be a beautiful day of basketball here today, folks. We're not talking about just regular basketball. We're talking about street ball. Street ball will be played today. And coming into the court right now, man, Bow Wow and his teammates. All right now. Bob, what's up, man? Hey. All right now. He'll wave at us later.
Now basketball is my favorite sport. I like the way they dribble up and down the court. I keep it so fresh on the microphone. I like no interruption when the game is on. I like slam dunk to take me to the hoop. My favorite play is the alley-oop. I like the pick and roll. I like the give and go. And it's basketball. Bow Wow, let's go.
All around the world.
Oh, jeez. Oh. Beautiful dunk.
In my hands, ain't no telling what I'm gonna do with it. When I got possession, I'ma have to fool with it. I might cross you up and fake one way, turn around and hit you with the MJ fade away. I'm throwing down passes like J Kidd, taking cats to the rack and I'm dunking on them right. C-Mac, when I'm in the plane, I play with that Alonzo style. I'm like Darius, cause I can
Don't too many players get offers like me. My back and forth are likely. Shake the checks off your Nikes. They almost had me in a suit at the draft, cause it looked like a free throw when I be shooting from half. The first step like Iverson, blow past you. Usually nothing but net, but I could go blast too. When I'm in the paint, the defense so shook, they don't know if I'ma put up a slow hook or dish off for no look. See, my game consists of a whole lot of moves you would think I learned from the Harlem Globetrotters. JD gon' lead us to a ring. Fab and Bow Wow's the only players that make cheerleaders wanna sing. Yeah, put it up, put it up, put it up, put it up now. Put it up, put it up, put it up now. Put it up, put it up, put it up now. Yeah.
Yo, what's up?
Do not touch that dial.
You know the radio you tune to, it's your Remedy Dial 93.9 Solutions FM. Your number one Remedy Dial. What's
Okay, remember, guys, we're live on Facebook, facebook.com/solutions 939 FM. Remember, you can be part of the show. Watch us live on Facebook. Shout out to Arani Yaya. Shout out to Taufik Akim Banuso watching live this morning. Remember, I'm also live on IG, Young Striker 9. And, well, let's also get your take. Your expectations are from the Super Eagles of Nigeria. 21 players are currently in camp. And that is ahead of the AFCON 2023 qualifiers. Update that we got yesterday from Super Eagles camp. 21 players are currently in camp. Zainu Sanusi, Apet Musa, William Trustekong, Ademola Lukman, Joe Aribo, Alex Iwobi, Calvin Bassi, Shemi Ajayi, Akpoguma, Kenneth Emirio, Wilfred Ndidi, Kelechi Iheanacho, Taiwo Awuni, Moses Simon, Adelaide Ochima, Ojo Duru, Samuel, Divine Oyenka. Remember, the players had their training session yesterday. 20 players were on ground at that time to have the training session, but two players were told to rest because of their participation at the just concluded NPFL Super 6 won by the People's Elephants Eyimba International. Okay. And well, now let's talk more this morning. And Joseph Osorio has explained the reason behind dropping Gift Orban and Victor Boniface not coming to the Super Eagles 23-man squad for the 2023 AFCON qualifiers against Sierra Leone on Sunday. Both Orban and Boniface were remarkable for Ghent and Union Saint-Gilloise in the Belgian last season, respectively. Orban netted 15 goals, made 2 assists in 16 appearances, despite joining Ghent in January 2023. As for Boniface, he bagged 7 goals, got 7 assists in 31 games for his side. Despite their impressive form, both were not invited for the match day 5 game built for Monrovia, Liberia. Speaking to journalists yesterday after the Super Eagles' first training session inside the Mobolaji Johnson Arena, Lagos, Basario said both players are still in his plans. He also confirmed that if he's inviting these guys, he will be using his money. And I still want more clarification about that. Who's paying these players coming? Is it Joseph Osorio or the Nigeria Football Federation? We'll talk more about that after this time out. Remember, Kiko Sports Show is still alive. It is the first half of AM Updates. My name is Oladapo Kunubi. Do not go anywhere.
For
For this Naija wey we dey so, say you no hold cash no mean say wahala dey o. You wan send money to Male for Villa? Just use Momo. You want buy recharge card or data plus jollificate 15% bonus when you recharge? Just use Momo. You want pay for market where you buy? Just use Momo. You fit use Momo run plenty things without cash. As long as you get Momo account, no cash, no wahala. And e dey easy to open o. Just dial *671# to open Momo account. Set your PIN, transfer money from your bank account inside your Momo account to fiam make you fit dey pay for anything. Send and receive money sharp because life dey simple with Momo. You go jollificate 15% bonus anytime you recharge with Momo.
Saleko is a jungle. Everyone does what they must to survive.
Gangs of Lagos don land for Prime Video and na the #1 film, so make una go watch am. E get better stars like Toby Bakri, Adesuwa Tomi Wellington, Chike, Iyabo Ojo and more. Plus the genge action wey dem do for the film. Chai! Na for only Prime Video you fit watch Gangs of Lagos and dem go first give you 7 days free trial. Terms and conditions dey o. Oh yeah, check out to Prime Video.
Hello, sir. Do you mind if I interview you quickly?
No. I don't get time.
Just a quick one, sir. If you get 1 million naira right now, what would you?
You said? First of all, hey, I go share this my phone. After that, I will come buy red bars, you understand? Then I'll come work well. Come block my landlord main office, see my status. God declare for the boys there. Levels all love you that.
Take off on a millionaire level and do as you like with the FCMB Millionaire Promo Season 9 by increasing your savings account balance by 10,000 naira and keeping it for 30 days in your FCMB account. And if you're a new customer, deposit 10,000 naira into your account and keep it for 30 days. And you could be one of the winners of ₦1 million and other amazing cash rewards. Approved by NLRC and FCCPC. FCMB, Live Bank and I.
Mommy!
Yes, daughter?
Why is it that almost everyone in my school comes with Sumal candies and biscuits? I just want to know.
Yes, darling. It's because Sumal food is amazing and simply the best.
Yes, Mommy. Even the Sumal wafers and the chewing gum that you've always given to us are extremely delicious and captivating.
Hello, everyone. Here's your bread. Of course, it's yellow bread.
Wow! Thanks, my dear. We always enjoy Jolly bread. For your biscuits, wafers, candies, chewing gum, and bread.
Sumal Foods, love at first bite.
Sumal Foods, love at first bite.
I will lift up mine eyes to the hills. My help comes from the Lord. Experience God's mighty power, working miracles, transforming lives and destinies through His anointed servant, Prophet Taiwojo, at 72 Hours with God from Friday night to Sunday, 11th of June. Theme: Help from Above. Join us with your loved ones to receive the help you need from God. Every struggle and sorrow shall be terminated by God's supernatural presence and power at Mercy Camp, Osengiri, Ibadan from Friday night to Sunday, 11th of June. Ministering Prophet Taiwojo and other anointed ministers of God. Music ministrations by Bukola Akínyadé Ṣẹ̀wẹ̀lẹ̀ Jésù, Bísí Aláwìyé Àlùkò, Elijah Akíntúndé Ọlọ́run Sọ̀bẹ̀, Gbénga Adénúgà, Bridget Adénúbí, Àtinúkẹ́ Rí Májẹ̀mú, and many others. Please note, we shall be rounding off early Monday morning. For more information, please call 0902-011-3558. 72 Hours with God. Come, don't miss it. 939 is the dial.
Africa, oh, yeah. Africa, oh, man, oh, yeah, but Africa, 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 eh. My Africa, my Africa, Africa, eh. No matter the wave, I will always ride for ya. I'll be here to save you, your Superman fly for ya. Because you are
Angelique Joe featuring Mr. Easy, Salif Keita, Africa One of a Kind. Well, we're still talking about the qualification for the 2023 AFCON, well, the 2023 AFCON qualifiers. And let's talk more about other teams. So remember, we just finished from the Super Eagles camp. You're welcome back. Still Kick Off Sports Show on your Remedy Radio dial. Solutions 939 FM. 8:20 is the time. Remember, we're live on Facebook, facebook.com /Solutions 939 FM. Shout out to Akelabi Samuel, Alpha Banishe, Atobatele Oluwakayode, Adeboje, Ola Dimeji watching live on Facebook, Olatunji Folari. Shout out to you guys. Now let's talk about games going down tomorrow for the AFCON qualifiers. In Group A, Sao Tome and Principe will be up against Guinea-Bissau. 5 o'clock is the time. In Group D, Guinea will take on Egypt. And in Group G, South Sudan hosts Gambia. Those are the games going down on the continent. Talking about the AFCON 2023 qualifiers. Well, we've got a lot of friendly games also going down tomorrow. Kenya will be up against Pakistan as Indonesia take on Palestine. Malaysia will be up against the Solomon Island. Djibouti against Mauritius. Oman against Tajikistan. And Turkmenistan against Uzbekistan. Away from that, let's also let you know that UEFA Nations League semi-finals goes down tomorrow, where Netherlands will be up against Croatia. Right. Now, away from that, let's talk what celebration looks like for Manchester City. Pep Guardiola will never want to stop puffing. According to reports, well, after winning a historic European treble of the Premier League, FA Cup, and UEFA Champions League, Manchester City paraded the trophies through the streets on Monday. The rainy weather didn't stop fans from flooding the Manchester City Centre and celebrating the second English side in history to complete the treble. If City made the most of last year's celebrations, this season's parade was even more lively, given the momentous occasion. Before kicking off celebrations, City players were spotted on the subway with shirtless Jack Grealish enjoying himself. Well, the reason I will always make people understand that in your life, do everything possible so that you will not regret trying. Keep trying. You must be able to play under pressure. Jack Grealish was with just one team where he was struggling, and he's with Manchester City. Spending how many seasons? He has won the Premier League and the UEFA Champions League title, including the FA Cup. And this man is also eyeing the Club World Cup, same as what he can get in the Super Cup. Emi feels.
Only the gold fit to enter. Oshama intercontinental. Now me get the bad, now me get shoulder. Nobody bad. Etigbe emagba, Emilia Emi. 2 me go 20 enter. No go dey far away your father. I know because Tom I know they bother. Nobody bother. Etigbe emagba, Emilia Emi.
Okay, well, I know the reason I'm playing this song because very soon I'll have to start dropping in my account. Shout out to Favor Lawrence who predicted against Manchester City. And yes, I predicted against Inter Milan on Saturday. And shout out to you, Favor. Good morning to you. Let's keep celebrating. Manchester City celebrating. Young Striker is celebrating this morning. I decided to just post Favor on that side. Now let's talk about one man who also won something, on the European scene. Talking about Declan Rice. He's been in the news, talking about transfer stories this morning, and Arsenal is leading the pack. Arsenal close to agreeing a fee with West Ham for Declan Rice and are expected to pay more than £100 million for the midfielder if certain add-ons are achieved. According to reports, a bid is yet to be submitted, but talks between the clubs are progressing smoothly and there is confidence that the deal will be finalized soon. Well, report also says that Arsenal are also considering bidding for the Brighton and over Albion midfielder Moises Sado, who is wanted by Chelsea, and are trying to sign Manchester City's Ike Gundogan on a free transfer. Are we going to see a tough, strong Arsenal next season after a disappointing outing they had last season? Well, Manchester United were interested in poaching William Saliba from Arsenal before the Frenchman agreed a new contract with Gunners over the weekend. And if this is happening, the same problem that happened to Manchester United in the last season's transfer window. Okay, now we're also getting updates that Arsenal are understood to be exploring opportunities for the exit of Nicolas Pepe and Cedric Suarez. Pepe remains Arsenal's record signing when he arrived for £72 million from Lyon in 2019. He spent last season on loan at Nice and has entered the final year of his Arsenal contract. And for Cedric, spent the season half of last season on loan, the second half of last season on loan at Fulham, and is also entering the final year of his Arsenal contract. Pablo Mari is also expected to make his loan move to Monza permanent. A lot is happening in the transfer window, right? Steven Gerrard, a Saudi man, and maybe Wilfried Zaha will be joining him in that league. But let's talk about Kylian Mbappe. This morning, report has it that Kylian Mbappe has decided against taking up an option to extend his PSG contract for an extra year and is expected to leave the club this summer, with Real Madrid favourite to sign him. Okay, if that should be the case, if he's going to Spain, is this? Where you have Vinicius Junior, you've got young players you have to contend with. But remember, you can be a king in France, but when you get to Spain, you have to lay low. Lay low. All right, now let's talk about Harry Kane this morning. Well, it is increasingly unlikely Manchester United will make a move for Harry Kane this summer, as Tottenham do not want to sell the striker, and especially not to a Premier League rival. The England captain scored 30 Premier League goals for a struggling sports side last season, and with just a year remaining on his contract, Kane is of interest to United, whose priority is to strengthen their forward options. So if Harry Kane is to move to any club, maybe a lot of people saying Manchester United, and well, Tottenham is saying, yeah, we are not ready to sell to any rival. So let's look at Europe. Is it Napoli playing in the UEFA Champions League next season? And looking at the Italian teams, or you go to Spain, a Real Madrid side, or you go to Barcelona, or maybe PSG. MLS is still there. Saudi Arabia here. But hey, all you just need to do is to look at your age and look at where you can win titles and have your duffel bag filled with money. Well, guys, I have to wrap up this morning. Many thanks to Oluyemi on Facebook, Alkalabi Samuel, Alfa Banishe, Atobatele, Oluwakayo Day, Adeboje Yusuf Oladimeji, Olatunji Folari, Taufik Akim Banusor, Rani Yaya. We'll move to the other side of the show this morning, where we look at headlines on the pages of the Nigerian newspapers. Same as burning issues. My name is Oladapo. Going to be Joe Boy, Duffel Bag. Like we always say, keep doing sports and stay safe.
You say you want the man, we go do you better. Olowo to no dollar. The king mama mega. Sexy jola chalogina later. I'ma how they feel your style when you break your back for me. Free me, you know easy. This thing plenty, check it easy. Plenty money for my people. Make I know where you want see me, baby. They come easy. This thing plenty, check it easy. Plenty money for my duffel bag. Make I know where you want see me, baby. You say you want the man, we go do you better. Oh no, $1. mama meta. Sexy jala jala in the liquor. Mama, I feel your style when you break it down for me. I don't know, baby, can you see? Many baba want joke, you know what it be. They want your bango on the low, but if you ready one move, make a follow go. Anything what you do, mommy, me no go deny you. Baby, no go for job, and me no go for. They got do you normally, you know what I mean? Yeah. Free me, you know easy. This thing plenty, check it easy. Plenty money for my big make I know where you want see me, baby. They come easy. This thing plenty, check it easy. Plenty money for my duffel bag. Make I know where you want see me, baby. You say you want the man, we go do you better. But don't want another dollar. Do you give mama better? Sexy jala jala in a letter. Mama, I feel your style when you break it down for me. Say you want the man, we go do you better.
Keep it 93.9. 93.9 FM.
Keep it locked.
Ẹ káàárọ̀ nílùú Ìbàdàn. Solutions 93.9 FM.
News, sports, entertainment. Top 100 music on your Remedy Radio dial. Solutions 93.9.
Do not touch that dial.
Ẹ káàárọ̀ nílùú Ìbàdàn. Solutions 93.9 FM.
We raise the spotlight on the different headlines of our national dailies.
This government, apart from giving that minimum wage of 30,000, which was a 6% rise.
We bring to you in-depth analysis on the major stories making the rounds.
And the CSOs to INEC account for 400 billion naira spent on general elections.
Interviews with political and government stakeholders.
There was a big push on export. We consume a lot. We need to be an economy, that an export engine, and we need to be a production.
Every weekday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on the Remedy Dial, Solutions 93.9 FM. Welcome to From the Dailies with Favor, Dapo, Laffy, and Victory. Let's talk about the state of the nation. Your voice matters.
News, sports, entertainment. Top 100 music on your Remedy Radio dial. Solutions 93.9.
Do not touch that dial.
Alright, 34 minutes gone past 8 right here on the Remedy Dial, Solutions 93.9. Welcome to From the Dailies, where we take you on a tour on the different stories making the front pages of our Nigerian newspapers. My name is Victory Richard. Good morning to you, Dapo.
Yeah, good morning to you, Victory. And well, it's good to have some people return to work after yesterday's public holiday.
I mean,
but we were at work yesterday.
The roads were really busy as I was coming to work this morning.
By the way, I like your outfit.
Thank you very much.
Is it for the cold?
Oh well, I'm just trying to represent the culture.
Yes, most especially when you heard different stories.
I mean, I need to go to Ekiti though.
What's happening in Ekiti?
Chef Dami just clocked 100 hours. So supposedly she's broken the record that Hilda Bassi had.
Did she write the Guinness World Record?
So that's the unverified information we don't have right now. There's been a lot of speculations about how she, ventured into the process, and there's been a lot, that's been said from, people paying for money to get food at the venue, people buying tickets. There's also been the conversation of how she, stopped her live streaming to go and sleep and return to continue. So there's just been a lot of
the gas at some point.
Yes, So, but the truth about the Guinness World Record is there are a lot of things that we do not know. Like Hilda, it was after the whole venture of hers that she realized that she could actually sit down. So there's a possibility that under the list of instructions you could sleep. We don't know about that, but. Well, I'm just, I don't know if I'm so impressed. Look at, she's trending at #1 on Twitter, clocking 100. So she's aiming to reach 120. So let's see how that.
How many hours was for?
Hilda was 100.
100.
Yeah, so she wants to beat that with over
I
120.
I know some guys will not be happy with this Chef Dami because they're still expecting the World Guinness record to verify Hilda, and after verification of Hilda, then maybe take some years before another chef, breaks that record.
Well, the truth is, there's no limitation or restriction to how you can pursue the record. As much as you're convinced that you can break it, you can go ahead. But the reason Nigerians are having, bombastic side eyes to this particular venture of Hilda's is because they feel like, this is a fellow Nigerian, another woman. How about you give us some time to
just
glory in
take water,
yes,
catch our breath,
award.
And we are also getting update about Wole Arole, who's also planning to go for
I think that's a joke.
Is he
5K? No, he's come out to say it's a joke yesterday.
To pray for how many hours?
Yeah, 5. How do you? That's 6 months. 6 months. He's come out to say yesterday, he put out a video saying he was joking. But I think he's also going to organize something like a prayer gathering for just believers to come together.
It does that a lot on Instagram, which I always, join to also see. But hey, let's look at headlines on pages of Nigerian newspapers this morning. Arole saying it was going to go for 5,000 hours to prayer-a-thon. Okay. All right, but let's go straight. I've got the Punch and the Nation newspapers here this morning.
All right, with me is the Nigerian Tribune and the Vanguard newspaper. We're streaming live on Facebook, so do well to like, comment, and share the post. Also react to some of the stories we will be looking at this morning. Let's get right into the papers. Let's begin this morning with the Nigerian Tribune. Starting with this headline, more controversies as NDIC chairman appointed by Buhari defends position, alleges corruption. Find that story on page 6. On June the 12th, governors have a national unity. INEC, APC raped democracy, dishonored Abiola's memory. PDP speaking there. Tinubu's Democracy Day message, threat to judiciary, that's coming from Atiku's aide. And now to the biggest story on the Nigerian Tribune. Tinubu signs student loan bill into law. Find that story on page 5. riders to that, students to enjoy easy access to higher education through interest-free loans. Jail term for students who default, in case you're excited about that. You're supposed to pay that money after NYSC. Anyway, we'll get right into it as we forge with analysis. Student loan not ultimate in the country with high youth unemployed like Nigeria. ASU's president is making that statement. Accessing the loan must not have political undertone. Job after graduation important. President of NAPTEN speaking there. Law will assist indigent students, families, Bajabiamila. And now to other stories. 21 killed in Plateau community. Find that story on page 27. Ibadan-based teacher lured to Lagos, murdered. Find that on page 17. And now to the 10th NAS inauguration. Akpabio, Yari in final duel for Senate presidency. These are the stories on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune.
Okay, looking at the Punch newspaper this morning, and the cap headlines here. Say anti-graft groups want NDIC probed. ASUP express doubts over student loan. Family demand a presidential entitlement for Abiola. How can that be possible? I believe the federal government can do something concerning that. I mean, making June 12 Democracy Day. The banner headline this morning from the Punch newspaper says, National Assembly, APC anointed candidate, rebels to slug it out. Riders to this headline, Yari, others fail to step down for Akpabio, Abbas as leadership poll holds. Izunazo, Musa withdraw. Lawan endorses Akpabio after Tinubu meeting. And other side headlines this morning, PDP Buhari's years of low costs wrecked oil sector. Kokori. Customs seize over 100 smuggled SUVs. Rogue cops extort 153,000 naira from undergraduate. CP removes DPO. Tinubu governors urge Nigerians to defend democracy. And we have the front page picture of President Tinubu yesterday checking a parade. This and more you can get from the Punch newspaper this morning.
Alright, away from the Punch, let's now move over to the Vanguard newspaper. Petrol marketers struggle to raise capital for new supplies. On June the 12th, Abiola was a forerunner to entrenched democracy in Nigeria. Anthrax, stop eating omo. Bushmeat, federal government tells Nigeria. This is like the only topping some people have on their meal. And this is not the first time, they're saying we should not eat cow skin.
Yeah.
Oh well, still talking June the 12th, INEC APC dishonored Abiola's memory, says PDP. No witch hunt in cancelling employment of 12,000 civil servants. And now to the biggest story on the Vanguard newspaper. Inauguration. Power show as 10th NAS gets underway today. Moving now to subsidy, Nigerians groaning, MBA tells Tinubu. Tinubu signs students' loan into law. Can Nigerians learn from 1993 election to build true democracy? And now to subsidy. NUT parents fault reduction in school days. That's a way of cushioning the effect. So no. We're already struggling with the education sector as it is. So I don't think that is a way to go about it.
No, every parent has got different reasons. Same as government private schools. Because I was discussing with someone and said, okay, most of these palliatives are meant for civil servants, civil public servants. Civil servants, let me put it that way.
Yeah.
What are private organizations doing?
Yeah.
And if you look at private schools, they will have to run 5 days a week. What of those who even go for extra lessons on Saturdays?
and we're all Nigerians, so we should benefit from whatever cushioning that's being propagated. All right, let's still look at more stories on the front page of the Vanguard this morning. Of course, in sports, Guardiola set Man City exit date after winning historic treble. Impressive, Man City. Congratulations on the win for the UEFA Champions League.
Yeah, congratulates me. I'm not a Manchester City fan.
I belong to any club that is winning, though.
You okay? We know you people. Any winning party.
If it was Inter Milan, I would have, would have been a part of Inter Milan.
So I had a bet with Favor.
Oh, really?
On Saturday afternoon, and at the point I almost went to meet her to beg her, let us cancel this bet.
Was it a money proposition?
Yeah, money plus sneakers.
Favor, I hope you've collected your money.
No, she lost.
She
lost
why you not
again.
begging her to?
No, I mean, I was just telling you, I almost went to beg her.
But
later I just, okay, anything can happen.
You didn't think you were going to win?
Yeah, because if you look at the game, first 45 minutes, I ended
Yes.
and how tough that game was. We were at.
I mean, it's the final, so I mean, it shouldn't be an
as
road for
easy
any of
as
the team.
but man, after the final whistle, I said, okay, 20,000 naira, let's go.
Has she paid you?
Why are you asking? Let's continue with the show. Are you done with the headlines?
Yeah, absolutely. Those are the stories on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper.
Okay, so let's go straight to the Nation newspaper. This morning, the headlines from the CAP. NDIC Act has 35 doctored clauses. Chairman claims. Agency puts under CBN. New law gives indigent students access to loans. Parents hail president. And these are the headlines. A red headline from the Nation newspaper this morning. Exchange rates unification to happen within quarters, says Edun. The banner headline this morning. Consensus Senate President. House Speaker likely today. Rider says Lawan, Kalu, Izunazo endorse Akpabio. Abbas support base swells. Southeast senators elect APC's choices. And FAAC asked NMPCL to refund 2.1 trillion naira deducted from subsidy. The last headline here. Avoid eating poma, suya. Others. Federal government cautions Nigerians. I mean, this is based on health. And I didn't see that of suya before, but just seeing suya in the Nation newspaper this morning.
People that can't live with suya, I wonder how they would survive.
No.
But, I mean, you need to prioritize your health. If you, because the anthrax disease, this is not the first time we've heard about it. So
we've been hearing different reports of different diseases. I think at some point in time we talked about one that comes from the tongue. That was last year, and I think starting with COVID, or do we say bird flu? From bird flu we started seeing different diseases, but hey, Nigerians, it is better we stick to to the rules, same as when we get the information. But there are other things that we can eat. There's mushroom.
The thing is, that's
fish.
Mushroom.
There's
Who eats mushroom in Nigeria?
People do. I don't want to mention a Greek organizations that breed mushrooms.
No, mushroom is very nutritious, but I'm just saying that it's not something you find the average home. Mushroom is even expensive. If you go to, except you want to pick those ones that you see, but buying it from the supermarkets is quite pricey.
Okay, are we talking about money here? All right, now let's go straight to the burning issue this morning. Ayodeji Adesope joins us in the next few minutes as we start with what is going down today, the 10th National Assembly inauguration. And it looks like someone is not stepping down. Well, they wanted to go down to the wire today. If I could remember, there was one, I think the 8th Assembly or the 7th, where Saraki emerged as the Senate President, and a lot of drama was there. There was a call where they had to make some people leave the National Assembly for a meeting, but before they could return, the deed had already been done. So this and more we look at this morning. Same as the student loan. Remember, President Bola Tinubu put this in his campaign, and this is happening. Bola Tinubu hasn't spent a month in office, and a lot of things have been changing.
Working, yeah. Let's hope that this continues.
All right. So, you were talking about the part of the steps put in place to repay the loan. But can Nigerians repay the loans? Don't you think it will look like the is it the market, the trader money? You know, is it everybody that even returned the trader money? That is one. Same as others. We're looking at this morning. Ayodeji Ajishokwe is our in-house analyst and is with us this morning. Good morning, Ayodeji Ajishokwe.
Good morning to you, Dapo.
Yeah.
And Vic Riches, good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Are you planning to go back to school? I know you still have family members who are in school. And let's start
Yes,
with...
I certainly plan to go back to school.
So you want to be a beneficiary of the student loan?
Not necessarily acquisition of knowledge.
Okay.
Some people say, though some people are of the opinion that education is a scam. I am not.
Oh, okay. All right. So let's start with the should we start with the loan? Let's start with the loan before we go to the National Assembly.
So President Tinubu yesterday signed the student loan bill into law, which, a lot of Nigerians have applauded. As a matter of fact, it's been a conversation that he's not been in office for up to a month, but he's really working actively, in different sectors of the polity. My question is, with this student loan and with some of the highlights, stating that you must be a student, you must have received provisional admission into a federal institution, and you should pay the money after your NYSC. That means you must get a job immediately after NYSC. My concern is, I hope we don't have a situation of youth subsidy in another form. Because we also saw messages online on Twitter, Nigerians reacting to, this could possibly be a fraud. Now, this is an angle to it. I hope we don't have a case where these funds that are supposed to be for student loan are now being diverted, just as we had fuel subsidy that we thought was a way of, subsidizing fuel for the people of Nigeria.
Well, actually, the reality is that it's a subsidy. It is a subsidy. But I have a suspicion. ASU has opposed it.
Yes.
I think the NAS has opposed it too.
Yes.
And I was in conversation with a very senior professor on Sunday evening, and he was saying that they're against it because there's a likelihood that there will be, a jack-up in fees.
Exactly what I wanted to say.
Education is being heavily subsidized. And believe you me, education is heavily subsidized. If you know how much the wage bills of some of the big federal universities are, you will be shocked. You will be shocked. That's subsidy. And that's an indirect subsidy. It is not going straight to the students, you understand? If it goes straight to them, they will know how to manage it. And then let the universities jack up their fees. And look, education is in crisis. Tertiary education is in crisis. That prof was telling me that the gaps that are being left behind as they're moving up and out of the system is not being filled. It's not being filled. And he told me specifically of a situation, somebody persuaded to come back from UK to his own specialty. He got an appointment, and some people within the system, not in his own university in Abuja, were delaying the release of the letter. The guy just flew back to the UK, the best in the class. So there is a crisis. You know that when you add COVID, in year 2020 to 8-month strike, Nigeria lost about more than 2 sessions, academic sessions, between 2020 and 2023. So, talking about the students' loan, yes, I think, it is what is done all over. You remember President Joe Biden just was going to write off, I think he's done it already, he's written off students' loan in the U.S. So huge. People are not going to have access to education, you understand? People are not going to have access to education. Let people have access to education. Let that thing. If government is subsidizing education, why not? Rather than subsidizing PMS, and of course it is the rich that is being subsidized. Right. In this instance, it will be the poor that is being subsidized.
But with the criteria that are being listed, do you think that this is even going to be accessible to the poor? Because it looks cumbersome just looking at it. And secondly, do you think this in any way will reduce the number of out-of-school children in Nigeria? Because I think that's the aim.
Well, where does out of school start? Out of school starts from the primary school. And this loan is targeted at tertiary education. So, out of school children, if you don't attend tertiary education, if you attend primary and you have attended even junior secondary school, you will not be counted out of school. You are not counted out of school. So, I mean, 6 plus 3, that's 9. And the other 3, that's 12. So, it's a 9 12-year thing. So it cannot be counted as out of school. If you have attended primary and junior secondary school, you are not in the category of out of school. I'm talking about the criteria. Will you address the poor? You say if your parents and below or 500,000 and below, and I'm thinking, is it a combination of both parents? That even half $1 million a year. I mean, how much does that add up to in a month? If you earn 10,000, if you earn 30,000, you know, okay, if you have 50,000, that's just still about 600,000. You understand? That's about 600,000. That's about 60,000 rather. If you earn 60,000 per month, you can't afford tertiary education unless you are doing some underhand stuff. If you have 2-3 kids.
Ayodeji, let's look at another angle here. We've looked at the eligibility for loan access. I mean, for that particular loan access. And now looking at the ineligibility, we have like 5. Previous loan default by students, exam malpractice, conviction of felony offenses of dishonesty or fraud, drug offenses, parental loan default. Starting from the 5 parental loan defaults, we know some students who are currently in school and they are being sent to school via loan by their parents, and some of them have even defaulted. We know how some of these agencies send messages. If you know Mr. This, try to tell him to repay the loan. That is one. Drug offenses. I mean, I won't want to talk about the percentage of Nigerian youths who are under drug influence. Conviction of felony. Look at the student union bodies. Look at some students, they will protest if there's increase in price of this and that. And some of their names might have been in record. So these students are already ineligible for this loan. Exam malpractice, that is happening on Nigerian campuses. Previous loan defaults. There's no way that Nigerians, because you look at what the minimum wage is right now and how Nigerians are surviving. Most Nigerian workers are surviving on loan.
So it's almost impossible to get this.
So are we not putting Nigerians in tight corner to be eligible for this loan?
If you default, if the rule says if you have defaulted loan, I mean, those are fundamentals, honestly, because when you're taking a loan, the terms and conditions are clearly spelled out. So when you are defaulting, that means you are not playing straight. You are not playing straight. Rules of engagement, and you breach rules of engagement. I mean, that's fair play. That's fair play. And you see, before you default, you can approach your banker. I want to rearrange repayment. You understand? You have that opportunity, and you have to explore it. Because look, your credit, check them out in Europe. They will never ever default on their credit activities. They will never default because you are not going to sit before any officer if you need a loan. It is here you will go to the bank and say, okay, Bamishi, please help me. You're not going to sit before any officer. They will just ask you to send your credit history in. They will deal with facts and figures they see there, and you're not going to see anybody, and nobody is going to see you. It will be based on your record. Check anybody else in Europe. People will live on credit, and if people start defaulting, the entire system will collapse. The entire credit system will collapse if people start defaulting. And you have the opportunity of walking to your bank and say, I want to rearrange my repayment. You can do that, but you can just sit in your own corner and say, I can't afford the big amount of reach. You're not out of reach. That is what they are telling people. You're not out of reach.
Okay, but Ayodeji, let's also look at, I mean, this is according to Nairametrics. I mean, with what I saw with a breakdown of the ineligibility for loan access, that is for the student loan bill that was passed into law yesterday. But 100% for over 100. Can this see the light of the day? Can this be what Nigerians, will surely utilize? That is one. ASU saying that they are against this. Don't you think ASU will now go back to, we signed an agreement of 1999 or 2009 agreement, federal government must pay? Won't this also bring up another ASU protest?
I think ASU learned some lessons from the Buhari administration, and especially from Ngigi and Malam Adamu in their engagements with them. After 8 months, they were compelled by the industrial court to go back to work. They gained nothing and lost everything. I think ASU's engagement will now be more proactive. And the little we have seen, I will say the little we have seen of the president in the last fortnight, I think there will be engagement. And not just engagement, there should be robust engagement, and commitment to whatever engagement agreements are reached. A lot is going to be happening in the next 3-6 months in this country, and I do hope. Education is critical. When you say ASU wants to go, look, we have to be realistic. Who are the people standing there? Look, are we not going to strengthen the public schools? Are we going to go on like this? We cannot afford to go on like this. We have to strengthen the public schools. The private schools are thriving because the public schools are not fulfilling their purpose. And let me tell you, the experienced hands, the capable hands are in the public schools, not in those private schools. Most of those private schools, just anybody teaches. Those who are not even skilled or trained to teach, they employ them to teach. And they give them primary schools, 15,000, 20,000, 25,000. That's what they give them. Who will give his or her best, earning 25,000 and imparting, and he is expected to impart knowledge? They're not going to get the best. And of course, I hope holistically, education. In fact, the prof I spoke with on Sunday told me that a state of emergency has to be declared in education.
Well, a change to be experienced. Well, let's keep our fingers crossed.
So let's go straight to the National Assembly this morning.
Absolutely.
Right. Well, it has been more of a Yari who has decided not to step down for Akpabio. Akpabio is getting more endorsements as expected. And, well, even Lawan is backing Akpabio. And I also read a piece yesterday where state governor here in Oyo State, Governor Seyi Makinde, said he will also be in Abuja today to back whoever Mr. President anoints. Now, can we say the anointing oil is hanging and not dropping as expected? And who do you think will get the anointing oil more to grease his head for the Senate presidential position?
Damola, I told Damola in favor a fortnight ago, when the shenanigans began. I said, look, all of these things, we have seen it before. People are posturing, to be noticed. We saw it before. Somebody was going to run, somebody was running for Senate presidency, and he was called. Say, what is it? He said, charges against him should be dropped. I said, okay, charges against you will be dropped. You understand the shenanigans?
Okay. Oh, now we understand.
Charges against you will be dropped. You understand? Those are the shenanigans. You think they are running towards Abeokuta, whereas the destination is actually Oyo. You understand? Running in opposite the directions. But so and then the sitting president is not like Bubu. You will remember the description that Fashola, former Lagos governor, gave of the two presidents, the former and the sitting one. he described them as coaches with different approach. He said President Buhari is a coach who will have given you all the tips, all the information you needed. And when you got onto the pitch of play, he will sit down in the dugout. He will not get out for the 90 minutes. He said, but Tinubu's style is a coach that will give you all the information, all the tips, all the strategy and tactics, and will stand on the touchline for the 90 minutes, dishing out, micromanaging you. That is what we are seeing in his approach in who becomes the Senate President and who becomes the Speaker House of Reps. And people are saying, why is he doing that? He wants to do this, he wants to do that. The National Assembly is independent. Look, if the man does not get people who are going to work harmoniously with him, his legislative agenda to execute his executive branch of it will not run smoothly. And he doesn't have a lifetime. He has only a mandate of 4 years. So he's trying to ensure that people who are going to work harmoniously with him to drive the legislative agenda that will drive governance are put in place. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. And that's why he's engaging. He's engaging. He's not arm twisting. We have not heard they are sharing dollars. We have not heard. He's engaging. Carrot here. You do this. You'll be giving this. You talked about Lawan stepping, supporting him. What we had was that Lawan was totally against him. But Lawan now, the president of the Senate and the Speaker of the House of Reps will unilaterally decide who gets what when he emerges. Committees, strategic committees. There are committees are divided into grade A and grade B and grade C. So it is the people that support. It is the people that provide the necessary backing. Choice committees, defense. In fact, in the petroleum, upstream, downstream, you have the Air Force, you have the Navy, you have the Army, you have appropriation committee, you have public accounts. All of those choice committees where they do oversight. That is the reward. Of course, that one, but all these people, they get endorsement based on all of these arrangements. That is as simple as that.
I mean, looking at Akpabio, he's got a lot of issues surrounding him. Remember the NDDC issue at some point in time, and heading for the Senate presidential seats. Even Yari himself has got a lot of issues surrounding him. And don't you think these people will be a bottleneck? I mean, if you look at the rep, the National Assembly, the Green Chambers, like now there's a harmony which you already, agree for who to go. But here in the Senate, remember the drama that happened some years ago, where the one that brought in Saraki as the Senate president, the whole drama that surrounded, while some were deceived to leave the Red Chambers, and when they returned, the deed had been done. But here, a lot of people will be on ground. Akpabio, Yari, who stands a better chance?
Between the two of them?
Yes, most especially with the whole corruption issues around this too.
Look, for the executive branch, those corruption issues hanging around their neck is a button to deploy in asking, pushing them to push their own agenda. I told you, one was running for Senate presidency. He said, okay, what's your price? He said, you drop charges against me. Those buttons will be used in, putting people in place.
So let's
let me tell you,
yeah.
a former DIG was elected into the Senate of Nigeria after serving. And when he got into the Senate chamber, the man grabbed the mic. It was in the days of David Mark as Senate president. The man grabbed the mic and said, I retired from the police as DIG. He said, most of the people populating this place are wanted. They have, like the dossier they have about most of the people here. The Senate president there, David Mark, quickly rebuked him, and the man was referred to privileges committee for discipline and all of that. About a few days after that, the man came on the floor and apologized for his so those things hanging around their neck is what the executive branch will be using to whip them into line.
I guess we'll have all the answers that we need today. Well, let's move away from that and talk about something else. Post-Democracy Day, INEC and APC dishonored Abiola's memory. PDP speaking there. So the PDP has come out to accuse, the Independent National Electoral Commission and the All Progressive Congress, APC, for dishonoring the memory of Abiola. It doesn't seem like anything, can be done to pacify what happened in 1993, even to the families. I think the families are requesting from the presidency some level of entitlement to honor Abiola. What would you say, judging from what happened during the last election and the democracy that's been practiced in Nigeria over the years?
The issue of June 9/12 is still very much here with us. And I think Buhari, of all people, bestowed the rank of GCFR on Moshood Kashima Olawale Abiola. Believe me, that GCFR is reserved for president of this country alone. That is a tacit acknowledgement. You understand? That's a subtle acknowledgement, and that is witty. You see, wounds like that, injuries like that, takes a very long time to heal. The man who started the Civil War in America, it was 100 years after his death that he was pardoned. Not 100 years after the Civil War, 100 years after his death that he was posthumously pardoned. It will take a while, and it will take all hands on deck. Tinubu is one of the major actors in the June 12 saga and the attempts to actualize it. But he's not going to say because he's president today, he will say and June 12 has been declared as Democracy Day and a public holiday. Those are in recognition of the significance of June 12 in Nigeria's political trajectory, especially the democratic part of it. That's a lot of movement. Yes, there might still be a lot to do. You have to carry people along. You're not going to do it alone. He's not going to do it by executive fear. It is not done. You have to carry people along. You want to legislate in the National Assembly, you have to carry everybody along. So it is not something that you can just do by executive fear, or else you will be injuring other people's sensibilities in the process. And if it is a national issue, really, if it's not a sectional issue, you understand, it has to be done properly.
Okay, doing things properly. Thank you very much, Ayodele Ajishokwe, for joining us on the program this morning and sharing your thoughts on some of the headlines we have on the pages of Nigerian newspaper.
My pleasure always, Dako. I'm very gracious. Do have a most fruitful day.
And you too. Okay. All right. Of course, you're listening to the Remedy Dial Solutions 93.9. This is from the dailies, and we just look through some of the trending stories in our national dailies, and we've also brought analysis to you as well. We talked about different things: the students' loan, the NAS election happening today, and the entitlement being requested by the families of MKO Abiola. Now, we would love to hear your reactions regarding some of these stories. Let's hear your thought. You can send us messages on Facebook. We're streaming live at Solutions 939, as well as text messages or WhatsApp message to 0904 422 2939. Also for calls, you can call the number 0909 888 9939 or 0912 222 2939. As a parent, do you think that this loan proposed or signed into law now, it's no longer a proposition as a bill, do you think is something that will be beneficiary to you, especially with the trajectory of our economy? Call us up and let's have a conversation this morning. 0909 888 9939 or 0912
222-2939. Shortly, we'll be taking messages on Twitter at Solutions939FM.
Okay, we are also seeing different reaction concerning the student loan. Some saying that is like a burden to also be put on Nigerian students. And well, maybe we should also say shout out to some institutions that have decided to come up with different either cooperative or different investments on campus where they allow Nigerian students to work and earn pay to also help themselves on campus. An example is Olabisi Onabanjo University. Some weeks back, we got to know that they give opportunity to students who are entrepreneurs to work on, to work on campus and even earn pay. They are being paid by the institution, for setting up.
That's a wonderful
yes,
initiative.
a business on campus, and you are also doing that. Maybe, for example, you are a dry cleaner and you want to also work on campus. You work with the Olabisi Onabanjo University investment, and they pay you for working for the school. And with that, I think it's just the same way that happens in developed institutions. Developed countries where you work on campus, you earn, and you're still schooling there at the same time.
I think there's an initiative that should be embraced with the education system here. That way, students can also, pay for some of their bills in school.
Yeah, instead of disturbing the parents.
Absolutely. Let's look at some of the messages we have right now. This is a message from Abdul, and he says, I am not impressed with President Bola's signing the bill into law. You need to think this through. How feasible is this bill that is just signed into law? The agricultural loan given to farmers by NIRSA, how has that been recovered? Don't rush into things. Think them through. That's how he removed fuel subsidy without cushioning the effect.
He did not remove fuel subsidy. He announced that the fuel subsidy has been removed, and that is not in the book. No, it did not remove. People should just get that clear. The subsidy is not in the budget. So he just made announcement that subsidy is gone, not that he removed. Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Guwisila from LA.
He did not remove it to be certified.
Okay. Or he made an announcement.
If he wants to reverse it, he has the power to reverse it. So he buttress on the action of the previous president, and he says, this school, this thing I talking about, you mentioned something about Olabisi Onabanjo
University.
What they provided for school. That is visible. Do you remember this bank, People's Bank, that our dear Solari,
Solari,
responsibility to it?
Yeah.
You knew what happened?
Yes.
Look, to me, I don't want to talk about anything for now when the government is on board. Most of our analysis, this is the thing they analyze when Buhari came into power. We are analyzing positively concerning every step he took. At the end of the day, we got into a serious mess. And somebody that is telling Fashola was not, during the second tenure, the man did not want him to go to the second tenure. That because he wanted to be delegated. He has a history. So to me, I believe he's supposed to have, the deal he signed, he's supposed to have looked into it seriously before signing it. This is Nigeria. We are talking about this in developed countries. This is Nigeria. Most of these things are avenue for people to embezzle. This is a corrupt country. The school feeding, what happened? What do they call it? All these programs that what do they call? Traders money. What happened? So many things. This is Nigeria. How they create a venue for themselves to enrich themselves. And concerning that of Akpabio, we learned that Akpabio was the first person to speak during their primaries, and he advised him to stay. And the promise he gave him was presidency. That was what he last to. I was on. So he's backing it up now. Why not allow them? Zone it. Let them pick anybody they want. Don't enforce anybody on anybody. We knew what happened during the last dispensation of our dear man from UP. We suffered it. We Nigerians suffered it. So let them give. You might want to do something that we want to go against. But if you want to do something that is beneficial to us, I know they will back it. If it is something you want to do, like the governor from Kwara State, Saraki, refuse so many things, they will go against it. Most of these people we are talking about, the president, the vice president, most of them, they've been in the house before. What are their antecedents? They know the way to program their things, and they are trying to program it the way they were doing it when they were there. And it's not the best way to go. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day too. Thank you very much. We still are from LA.
Absolutely. 0909-888-9939 or 0912-222-2939. Divergent opinions regarding the student loan. For some people, it's a good development. For others, they feel like the president and Gwajabiamila, just like this comment, is about to put burdens in the burdens on the Nigerian students. This is from Kunle, and he says they want most students to carry the baggage of being debtors years after graduation. The next thing now is to increase school fees in higher institutions to 500, from 500 rather, I think that's what he's trying to say, to ₦1 million. And this is just hypothetically speaking. Students must resist this wicked act. Okay.
No, if you also look at how much Nigerian students are paying for school fees now, you feel, okay, why don't I just send my kids to Benin Republic? Why don't I just send them to Ghana?
You calculate, all the monies that would be used for movements like that.
But unfortunately, you have these kids come back and they don't know anything. I was opportune to speak to some students who went to Benin Republic some days ago. They came for internship and we were just like having discussion. Damilala Fema was asking some of them, okay, who's the vice president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? That's who's even the vice president in Benin Republic, and they could not. And I asked them, okay, who are the lecturers? Are they Beninese? Are they Nigerians? And they said Nigerians. So you look at the education level in Benin, Ghana, Ivory Coast. Look at that of Nigeria. Maybe some frustrated lecturers in Nigeria decided to move to Benin Republic, and are they even lecturing them well? Those are the things we need to look at here. Maybe we look at the education system, make it better, then we can now introduce the loan.
Honestly, I do not think that this is the way to, improve the education sector, truthfully, because just like, DG stated, initially I was thinking if this will help, the out-of-school children in Nigeria, but out-of-school begins from primary education. So if you don't even have people who, from their formative age, they've been enrolled into school, then how will they get into tertiary institutions?
Look at the money spent for school feeding children and nobody to account for that. So if there's no accountability for feeding of school school children, who will make account of the loan given to Nigerian students?
That we don't, have these funds being diverted for personal gains.
I mean, this is a good idea. We are not rubbishing the idea, but I am not rubbishing the idea. But just feel like there should be openness. This is the amount we've given out. This is the number of Nigerians that have gotten this loan. We know a lot of.
For the amount of loan is peculiar to the individual. It depends on the proposition you're given.
Yes, but you look at the number of how much how much is the Nigerian government putting in, or cutting out of the budget for the loan to be taken, right? We know a lot of things out. A lot of people who will just send you messages. Do you know Mr. A? Mr. A is owing this particular company. Call the person unless we start embarrassing all of you. And people are used to that. They get a loan, change their bank, open a new bank.
And that's like BVN. You can't even escape it. For that, BVN will catch you red-handed.
I just feel this idea, I feel maybe putting the cart before the horse. It is like, okay, you want to build a house and you've already gotten a roofing sheet without starting the foundation.
And that's why the question of being tactical about some very important decisions must be put in place. Call us 0909 888 9939 or 0912 222 Let's look through all the comments.
Okay, another tweet coming in from @n_Ignay says, I wholly agree with the option of taking loans as provided in the Act. What we are having now is tertiary institutions is next to nothing compared with the funding and educational standard elsewhere. I also wholly support an increase in tuition fees for a qualitative tertiary.
Saka says, even abroad, the things work. So, all right, let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Please turn down the volume on your radio set. Or move away from the radio.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, this is James from Ojo.
Okay, let's have your take. Good morning, Josh.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning to the other guy in the studio. Sorry, I forgot his name. So before this, as much as you could say this is novel, this reminds me of one popular lyric of Olamide and Macaulay Marale. When you first build your house before buying the land. That is what I feel is happening right now. First things first, I would expect the government to fix the economy. Let the economy be all right, such that even if you now want students to take loan, they can be working and even be servicing the loans. They will not have to wait until they graduate, because what's even the possibility that, okay, you would even graduate after 2 years of NYSC, you would even get a job. See, I studied animal science when I was in university for 5 years. But what I am doing today, I'm not working in the agri field. It's not even animal science that is putting food on my table. So a whole lot needs to happen for us to get things right. But see, I always tell people the reality of the average Nigerian politician is here from us. Where they see what they call chicken change is big money to us. So they just make rules, formulate rules without even carrying people along. And only if we had a proper legislative arm, whereby they would even listen to their constituents, and they'd be able to more or less table or counter whatever excesses the executive brings, would have been okay. But we've been having rubber stamp. Now, the National Assembly is supposed to be inaugurated today, all things being equal. But right now, we now have a president that is more or less, should I say, cherry picking. And in Nigeria, where horse trading eventually happens is a matter of give and take, whereby we are now sacrificing competence for, okay, you stop this, we'll give you juicy committees and all. And now we're going to get the best of that. It's not going to the highest bidder. So it's still coming back to the leadership processing system that we have, whereby it's only those with big pockets now, I beg your pardon, that can get to the highest of things. And most of the time, we would not get the best with that. It's not going to be left to the lottery of the event, whereby you hit or you miss. So that's how I say. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your take. I mean, he made mention of a lot of things. And
very impressive submission.
That brought me back to when I went on leave, I went to see a friend who has a farm, a pig farm. And his farm is also within the farm of there's a school of animal health production, more plantation along Apata. And I said we've got a lot of, areas of land. And you have people who will graduate from this school with first class. And there's nothing like, okay, if you graduate with first class, we'll give you a plot of land to start farming, to start either, rearing pigs, fishery and the likes. And what of students in school? Give them land to start cultivating. When they sell, they get money. And from there, that can also encourage them. What you are doing as practicals. And that can also, help you. These are the things that will make people say, this is why I want to study this course. If you say, for example, you are into theater arts, you can go into movie industry while still in school. If you're in technology, if you're running, maybe a computer science, you go into that particular course, and you're also doing it outside the course. So that also cushions what you understand, what you've learned, and how that can also work. We know if the school is progressing, if the student is progressing or not. But you cannot do something on paper and say you now graduate and you get a job. So if you get a loan, for example, as a student running something like Greek, there's a way you can repay while you are doing your job.
Yes.
And, you're also helping the institution.
I think working is actually one way to help navigate this entire situation, because truthfully, how can you guarantee that after 2 years of NYC you get a job?
A job.
He also made mention of something very pivotal. That's the leadership. We're having inauguration of the NAS. So these are the people who put these bills out, propose these bills before they're being signed into law. And right now what we have is the highest bidder, not people who are very concerned about what Nigeria would turn out to be if we have, the evergreen land that we've prayed for. It's sad.
And looking at what we are seeing here, counting ongoing, maybe they're done with the counting, and I can see some governors there in at the National Assembly. And the question is, what is the importance of the governor at the National Assembly? See Ogun State Governor, Dapo Abiodun, right? I mean, and Governor Seyi Makinde says he will also be in Abuja. Let these people decide. Okay, maybe he wants to influence votes from National Assembly members.
So the G5, I mean G7, they're G7
G5.
now. No,
It's
they're-
G5.
They're still G5.
Yeah, G5. So, a lot needs to be put in place. I mean, let's look at some more comments before we wrap up this morning.
Saka says, even abroad, the things work. Jobs are available. Many students struggle. Okay, even abroad, the things work and jobs are available. Many students still struggle to pay student loan. I wonder who is going to make this thing work in Nigeria. The economy needs available jobs for the unemployed people. Unemployment in Nigeria is alarming. The economy must have to work for people to be able to pay this loan. We could have focused on rehabilitating schools first and industries that will accept graduates before disbursing loans. Abi, what do I know? That's what he said.
Hello, good morning.
Morning to you.
That's right, guys. We're still calling back.
Yeah, thank you for calling back.
Do you know that Akpabio contested for the presidency?
Yes.
How they maneuvered their way to bring him up as a senator. It was court that made him a senator.
Yeah.
So what did you expect from such a person when he becomes the leader of the house? And my governor is going there. He has forgotten that he doesn't even have any PDP senator. Who is he going to meet there?
Thank you very much, Ursula. Even the outgone Senate President Ahmed Lawan also contested in the primaries for the presidential primaries.
You know what I feel that happens in the Nigerian politics is if you don't get
Give
the
and
position,
take.
yes, if you don't get the position that you were vying for, you get a consolation position.
We know a governor who got a form for the presidential race. He got that of Senate the Senate. You understand? But because he felt like if I lose this, I can go back to the Senate. And this, how did they get the money?
It's not in the same country where we had a CBN president getting a form to contest for presidency.
Okay, so a message here as a wrap up. What I'm thinking is this: he will invest this money into the system and then let's say 5,000 students applied and given the student loan. After 4 years, he will start getting his money back from the student because they must have graduated by then. Then possibly they start paying him. Who is him? Josh Echekade says the student loan program is good. Let all eligible students access the loan. It's done in the United States of America. You don't have to pay back unless you have a job, and then you pay back interest free. Moreover, it's optional. Either you take it or leave it. It's not compulsory. You take the loan.
There's a criteria for this.
You also look at this. You get a job. When you get a job, you start paying. Maybe this will also, open doors for more jobs in Nigeria. So, like what the second caller said, like Macaulay Morale. Do you know what that means? I'll build a house. I will buy land. Instead of saying I will buy land
first
and
before
build a house.
building house.
All right, so guys, I have to wrap up the show this morning. Updates makes a return tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock with Kiko Sports Show. And then we look at headlines on the pages of Nigerian newspaper, same as burning issue. Many thanks to Oluyemi on Facebook, Alaji Otumba on Facebook, Alaji Taufik, Oluyemi. Everybody who made their comments, and for those who called in, Uwesila, Josh, and others who called this morning on AM Update. We'd like to say a very big thank you to you. And a special better shout out to Engineer Olufemi Oluwagbemiga Faoye, OOF.
Yes, congratulations
is it
to
OOF
you.
that he calls himself or FO?
Well, congratulations to you. Happy birthday, happy birth anniversary.
Yeah.
You've been such an instrumental force to this organization, this media outfit, and we appreciate all that you do. You know, the lingua franca English that you always put out. I just read a message from Tunde, you know, commending his what's the word now? Oh God. Well, he has great vocabulary taste, so that's what I'm trying to say.
So this song is dedicated to engineer Olufemi Fawoye. This year, blessings. This year, more money.
Amen.
This year, everything you request for will be yours. My name is Oladapo Okunubi.
My name is Victory Richard. Good morning to you, Ivy City.
This year, bless